Happy February, everyone. February 2025 is here. Today is the first day, and I am so excited to share with you guys all the books that I plan to read during the month of February. Hi, everyone. Welcome to my channel. I'm Chantel, and I'm so happy that you are here with me. And today, you guys, we are going to be talking about all the books that I plan to read in the month of February. So for those of you all who don't know me, I am a book lover, but I'm a book lover who kind of got out of the habit of reading books for pleasure. I realized in December of 2024 that most of my reading was reading that was regulated for work. And although I do read interesting things for my job, because I have a fun job, I like what I do, I realized that I was not really reading anything for just my enjoyment and my pleasure. And so I definitely wanted to make that change in 2025, which is why I started this channel, because I wanted to build community with other book lovers who are wanting to read more like me, but also to, be inspired by book lovers who are already doing it. So that's why I started the channel. And I want to say that I didn't know how it was going to go. I did my January book TBR list, which I will link for you all if you want to check that out. And I was really nervous to just put it out there that I was going to read, the books that I was going to read, all the books that I was going to read. But actually it helped me. I describe myself as a gentle reader. I can say, hey, here's a goal, but I want to enjoy the journey of working through books. So it's not so much how many books I read, but the quality of time that I get to spend with myself and with the books that really matter. So January was a success. It worked for me. I got through all of the books that I wanted to read for January. And so I started picking out my February books a couple of weeks ago. I came up with a final list, and that is what I'm going to show you guys today. My February books, all here in this nice stack right here on the bed, and we're going to talk about all of them. So these are not in any particular order, but here we go. Let's just see what we're going to be reading first. So the first book that I have here is Zora Neale Hurston's Their Eyes Were Watching God. Isn't this a brilliant cover, you all? Their Eyes Were Watching God. Now, I have read this novel before, but the last time I read it was many years ago when I was in college, actually. And this is my copy from when I was in college. You can see the difference between the covers. It's kind of neat. I just don't know which one I like the most. I still think I'm a fan of this one here, but I appreciate the art and the boldness of color on this one too. But this is my college one. You can actually see that I got it from UVA bookstore. There we go, University of Virginia bookstore. And so, but I decided to get this edition and to read it, and it's been fun. To just be able to look at the two. So, like I said, it's been years since I read this work by Zora Neale Hurston. I actually had the extreme honor to be taught by one of the leading literary experts of Zora Neale Hurston, Professor McDowell, Dr. Professor McDowell. And so I was introduced to her, Zora, by Professor McDowell, and I'm excited to just go back and to reread it. So this is a story about a young woman named Janie. It's set in the South. And it is a story about her, how should we say, coming into herself as a woman. And it's a story about her discovering not only the world around her, outwardly, but also the world within her. I'm going to just leave it at that. This is definitely one that I'm going to do a book chat with, so we're able to dig a little bit deeper into the novel and share my thoughts with it and the ways in which it helped me, what I gleaned from it. So be on the lookout for that. So Zora Neale Hurston is up. And knowing me, I will probably also be looking at my notes because I have a lot of notes in this one to just kind of see what I recognize, what popped out, how did 20 something year old Chantel or 19 something year old Chantel, how did she respond to this book then? I think that that's going to be a lot of fun for me. So, in the spirit of Zora Neale Hurston, I'm also going to be reading her nonfiction work, which in her autobiography, which is called Dust Tracks on a Road. So, I'm really looking forward to reading this alongside Their Eyes because I think it'll just give me more insight. And also, I just love reading autobiographies because they're just such places of wisdoms, lives lived and lives reflected on, which to me is what an autobiography is. It's just a really great place for wisdom. And I am so looking forward to gleaning some pearls of wisdom from Zora Neale Hurston. So there you go. That's my Zora Neale Hurston moment for the month of February. And I'm really excited. So I will be traveling in February, like quite a bit. And so airport travel is I just love reading in airports. I'm really not one that's on my phone a lot. I use my phone just for like logistics, purposes, just to make sure my flight is on time, like what gate I go to, and I'm checking in with people saying I've landed or I'm about to take off. And then you guys, my phone is up. My phone is away. It's probably on silent. I just don't even like to be disturbed by the phone. I'm not much of a movie watcher or even a podcast listener when I'm traveling. I love to read. And so I'm so looking forward to all the good reading time I'm going to have as I'm airport traveling, especially because I have a layover. So this book is definitely one I'm bringing with me on my trip. So this is what I would call my mystery date with a book pick. And so my mystery date with the books are books that I pick up and I just don't know anything about them at all. It's just might be some reason why I have them in my hand. It could be this is because my book club is reading it, or this is because I just like the cover, or I was running out the store being rushed and I wanted to grab a book. And so I just picked it up. Like that's kind of how they fall, or someone gave it to me. But typically, my date with the books are books that I know absolutely nothing about. So this I got the other day when my husband and I had a little date night and we stopped in Barnes and Noble, and I saw this on the table and I didn't quite know what to think about it. The cover, can you see that? It was like interesting. And so we were kind of rushing because we needed to get to the restaurant. So I didn't have time to do a deep dive on it, to look it up or anything like that, or read reviews. I just decided to grab it. I saw after I was in the car, I saw the small print that it's a novel about food and murder. And so I'm like, this actually falls like right within my genre of choice. So this novel is Butter, and it is based upon a real case of a convicted one woman serial killer who apparently lured men into her world through her delicious beef stew. And so I am really, really excited to read this book, and I definitely will be sharing all of my thoughts, about it after I read it with all of you all. So Butter, that is that. Next, we have Harry Potter, and then I got this cute little gold bookmark to go with Harry Potter because it's gold, and I thought, it was cute. So my oldest daughter is turning 18, you guys, February 13th. And I can't believe I have a child turning 18, and I'm so excited, for her in the season that's coming up. And one of the fun things that's happening on her 13th birthday, literally the day of her 13th birthday, is Harry Potter will be back in the movie theaters. They're starting a Harry Potter marathon. And my daughter is a huge Harry Potter fan. She has read all the books. She has watched all the movies several times. She has made me watch all the movies several times. We have we celebrate Harry Potter's birthday every year. She hijacks a family, and I'm gonna use the word hijack is a real word to use. She hijacks a family and she cooks an entire meal, appetizers, entrees, desserts, and the drink from the Harry Potter cookbook, and we have a Harry Potter marathon. So it was so fitting that on her actual birthday, they were releasing Harry Potter back in the movie theater. And so we're definitely going to go and plan to see that. And she asked me, she was like, Mom, now you have to read Harry Potter. So I'm going to be reading. This is the Harry Potter. I don't know if I'm going to read the series. I just was like, let me start with the first book. But yeah, I'm going to read it. And I'm going to then have a book talk with my daughter about it because she's rereading it too again. And we're going to have a Harry Potter moment in the month of February. And I'm actually looking forward to it. I find that, as a parent, anything that your kid is interested in, anything that they want to connect with you or share in their world, like go for it, like fully just lean into that. Those are really important moments. And so I'm definitely looking forward to leaning into that, into Harry Potter, into this world with her and doing the whole thing. So Harry Potter. And if you are a Harry Potter fan out there, or if you know of any Harry Potter fans, right now, I definitely am Barnes and Noble, but for sure, probably in other bookstores, I would imagine they have like all of this Harry Potter like stuff, cups and bags and hats, and they probably sell that stuff all the time because it's such a big franchise. But it's definitely in stores now. Okay. So my next book is called Freshwater, and it's by Awaki Imzi, as I believe how you say the author's name. And this is a novel. Ooh, yes, here we go. This is a novel that, again, for me is like a fresh, date with a mystery novel. This novel is a book club pick, and I didn't know anything about it, but we meet in February 12th to be exact. So I'm going to have this read by then. It is I think it's like a sci-fi type of book. It's set in Nigeria, I believe. And it's about a Nigerian family that has a very unusual child. Basically a child that can separate herself from herself and kind of do all these things. So I'm here for it. I'm going to give it a go. I'm going to give it a read. And I'm going to come back and tell you my thoughts about this book in our book chat about this. So keep a lookout for that. This is Freshwater. I do like the cover. I'm not a snake fan. I actually have a phobia against them. So at first when I saw it, I was like, oh, but I'm going to give it a read. So I'll definitely will let you know my thoughts about this one. Okay, so what's next is Kim Ji-young, born in 1982. Sorry, you guys. I have allergies, and I'm kind of suffering over here. Here we go. This novel is by Cho Nam-ju, and it is written by a Korean author, and it's set in Seoul, Korea. It's a thin book. How many pages? It's always nice to know, when they're thin books, in your life, when you're like, I just need a quick read. Oh, it's just 163 pages, you guys. So yeah, this one I'll be able to kind of work through quickly. And this was also a mystery date with the book kind of deal for me, because this is my other book club pick. And I didn't know anything about it, but I'm excited. I think this one, I have heard, I did do a little bit of research on this one after I bought it. So this book is said to have helped to promote the women's feminist movement in South Korea. And so it gets into a lot of gender issues and equality, and we are going to read it, and I'm going to see what I think about it and what it's like. But it won a lot of awards, and there's a lot of talk about this book, so I'm excited to read it. And I will also definitely be coming back and doing a book talk with you about this one. So yay for that. All right, next is a fun read for me. This is Richard Osman's The Thursday Murder Club. So this little book I got when it first came out. I really do like mysteries and murders. Those are kind of like my fun kind of, if I just say like a fun read book for me, that's the genre that I go to just for a fun read. And I bought this book when it first was published, which I believe was like in 2020. And I just never got around to reading it. So the other day I noticed it on my shelf, and I was like, let me put it in February's pile to read. And I think that is such a good thing for me to do in this season of my life, because this book is set in a retirement village. And basically there's like 4 friends in this retirement village, and they say that they're getting together to, I think, play cards, but what they really are getting together to do is to solve or try to solve cold cases. And then, lo and behold, a real present day case falls into their lap, and they work to solve it. And the reason why I think that I'm excited to read it in this season of my life versus when it was published in 2020 is because my mom lives in a retirement village now, and I am in and out all the time, and I've made friends with like many other residents there, and I think I'll just be able to, like, I think the setting and it'll just come to life in a different way for me than if I would have read it back then. So I'm really looking forward to this delightful, mystery read, and meeting the characters. I'm excited to see the characters that I will meet in this book. So for sure, I'm looking forward for that one. And then my last two, this book is called Run by Ann Patchett. And Ann Patchett is a well-known author who's written, she's written a lot of stuff, a lot of novels and a lot of essays. I actually was introduced to Ann Patchett through my mentor, Chris Cully, when I went to visit her in Nashville, Tennessee. And Patchett co-owns a bookstore there, which is, guys, it's like the most wonderful bookstore. It's like what a bookstore should be. It is a bookstore for real book lovers. And I will put the link of the bookstore in the show notes below. And so I got like several books from that bookstore. I had so many books that I had to get another little bag to get back on the plane. And this is a signed copy of this book. It's a signed copy of this book. So yeah, I got like 3 other books from her, and I really loved her writing style. And so, but I haven't read this one yet. And this particular book is about, let's see, it says, since their mother's death, Tip and Teddy Doyle have been raised by their loving, possessive, and ambitious father. That's a nice combination. As the former mayor of Boston, Bernard Doyle wants to see his sons in politics, a dream the boys have never shared. But when an argument in a blinding snowstorm leaves, which involves a stranger, leaves the family all in flux. All Bernard cares about is his ability to keep his children, all of his children, safe. So it seems like it's a little kind of mystery-ish kind of going on, family drama. So we will read this and see what it's about. But I really do love her writing style and just her use of language. So I think I'm going to definitely like this one too. But again, I will be hopping back on here so we can talk about it for sure. And lastly, I'm going to be talking about or reading this book. This is a nonfiction work, How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera. And my husband actually bought this book and he read it. These are his notes in here. He read it, I think it was like 2 years ago now. and he really recommended that I read it, that I read it too. He was definitely, he's a fan of this book and learned a lot. And I know that we had a lot of great conversations. The subtitle of it is Recognize Your Patterns, Heal from Your Past, and Create Yourself. And so I always like to have a nonfiction book that I'm reading, and I thought that this would be a good time to, there we go, to pick up this book and to read it. And I'm looking forward to the conversations that I will be able to have with my husband about it, and also the things that I'm just going to be thinking about in terms of myself, especially as I'm pressing into this year. So I will definitely come back and share with you some things that I gleaned, the lessons that I gleaned, and ways in which I, what I discovered about myself, I should say, along the way with reading this book, and whether or not, I recommend it, to folks. So, How to Do the Work by Dr. Nicole LePera. All right, you guys, that sums up my books for the month of February. I'm just going to try and hold them all up here. I should probably put this one on the bottom to try to steady it out here. Here we go. This is it. Can you all see? It takes up the entire screen almost of books. But there it is. Please let me know what you are going to be reading in February. What's on your TBR list? How did you do with January? Remember, we are gentle readers here on this channel. It is not about, I got to get through this. That's not what it's about. It's not about pressure. I think that it is about just enjoyment and enjoying the journey and allowing yourself space to actually sit with yourself and to read a book. So I hope that you guys enjoyed my share of my books. Please, again, put what you're planning to read. If you have read any of these, I would love to, don't spoil it for me. Don't spoil it for me if you have. Hold that out until we, have our my chit chat moments. But you can definitely let me know what you think about the book. I would be open to hearing that. Until next time, you guys, because I have to run now. This has gone on for a little bit here, right? I have to run, and I know that you have things to get to too. So until next time, please stay safe, stay sane, and as always, you guys, stay reading. Bye.